Hello everybody, Toastmom here, bringing you more Halo 4 gameplay commentary. Today we're talking about something that people have been asking for 343 to add in Halo 4, and that is indicators on screen of where your teammates died. Yes, the red X that has been in all the other Halo games. Now this might not seem like a huge deal for people to have a red X over your head where you died, but it can actually be pretty huge, especially for teams that aren't communicating. If you're communicating and you know callouts, someone could at least call out, oh, I died in this position, and your teammates would know. But a lot of times you're playing with randoms and they're not communicating, or you're just not to that level yet where people generally do that. And it's just very, very useful information to see exactly where that person died. You do see the indicator on screen disappear, but you don't have very precise indication of where that person actually died. So it's a great system to give the player knowledge about what their teammates are doing without having to communicate with them. And it's actually something that teammates can't just constantly be communicating that, because they have to be calling out enemies' positions. They can't just be calling out exactly where they died every 3 seconds. That'd just be ridiculous. So it's an important system that helps people understand where their teammates are and what's going on. Now, I do think this is important. I think they need to add this in. But what I think they need to add in even more than these red X's, is indicators of where your teammates are on screen. Now, they do have this indicator if you're looking at the person. As you can see in the gameplay, I can see where my teammates are if I'm looking at them. That little indicator pops up and shows the tag over their head. But this indicator doesn't show up if they're off my screen. So I have to be looking at my teammates to see where that indicator is. And I'm surprised no one else has been talking about this. I haven't heard anybody else mention it. Now, the reason this is important is because it allows me to know generally where my teammates are, if they're to the left of me or behind me, whatever, without having to look at them. Right now in Halo 4, I basically have to do a complete 360 to figure out where my teammates are. And it's not feasible for my teammates to constantly be calling out positions, even if I was in a full party of 4 where everyone's communicating, which in this game, I'm not. Another reason that this is very important, not just to know general positions of where my teammates are, which is just extremely important in itself for knowing when to push, but the most frustrating part of this not being here is that I don't know who's behind me. Teammates will constantly spawn behind you in this game and in previous games. Now, normally this wasn't an issue because you'd see the indicator pop up behind you and you'd hear the footsteps, person switch their weapon, whatever. You'd hear that person spawn, you'd know someone's there, but you'd see the indicator, so you'd realize, oh, that's a teammate. But in this game, you don't know that. You'll probably see me a lot in this gameplay when I'm spawning in a safer location and my teammates start to spawn behind me, to look behind me, because I have to. There's no way of me knowing that that is a teammate unless I'm looking at them. And I can't risk it and just be like, oh, that's probably a teammate, because it could just as likely be an enemy. Now, this is just really frustrating because it takes away from me being able to look for other enemy positions. It slows me down to getting into the position that I was planning on getting to in that spawn, and it doesn't allow me to know where my teammates are. It's just a frustrating experience because, like I said, I can't just not look there. I have to look there because it could just as likely be an enemy as it could be a teammate. So I kind of understand where they're coming at, maybe for the reason of not implementing this, because I assume maybe it has to do something with not like cluttering the HUD, which makes sense, but it's just not worth it. It doesn't clutter that much, and you already get the indicators for power weapons. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you know when a power weapon comes out, you see that indicator around the side of your screen letting you know the general position, like it's to the right of you, to the left of you, and then when you actually get into view of that power weapon, it'll actually track on to its exact position. But when you're not looking at it, you at least get a general sense of where this thing is actually located. So that's what I'm talking about there. And yeah, I do kind of understand maybe why that would be a reason that they wouldn't implement it, but it's just not worth it. It's so important, and it's not really something that you can just get around and get used to. It's not something like people have kind of been complaining about how now when the red team is running the flag, the indicator to kill them is red, and when the blue team is running the flag, it's always blue, no matter if you're on their team or not. And in previous Halo games, the enemy, no matter what color they were, it was a red indicator. So it's a little different. That is something you can adapt to and get used to, but this is just loss of important information in a game that is quite fast-paced and really relies on you knowing that information to be successful and to just have an easier time and a smoother time playing the game. So I really hope they put this back in a title update. It sounds like they were already considering the red box indicators. They mentioned it a few times with the red X, and they're considering putting it in, and I think that is a huge thing too. They need to put that in. It helps not only just experienced players, but also newer players just understand where their teammate died from, because that's just good information to know. I shouldn't go around that corner because my teammate just died there if they didn't notice their little tag disappear. So that's just also important information to know, but also those indicators over your players' heads, even if you're not looking at them, should be something that they should also look into. And I just wanted to mention it because I haven't heard anybody out there talking about it at all, and I think it's really important. So anyways, that'll do it for this video. If you like the video, you can leave a like or a comment, or you can subscribe because I post new Halo videos every day. And one last thing I wanted to talk about is Slayer Pro. It's actually pretty fun. The first couple times I played Slayer Pro, I was like, man, this thing, I'm just not feeling it. It's not quite there. It seems really slow-paced. But I think that was because the true skill system just wasn't kicking in yet, and I was playing people who weren't quite sure what they were doing. It was kind of on day 1 or day 2 of release, so people hadn't really figured out the game. But now people have really figured out the game, and I'm starting to get matched with players that are actually my skill, and it's becoming a lot of fun, and it's actually pretty fast-paced. And it seems like that's where a lot of people go if they want to try to win. Of course, there are other people in the other playlists, but it seems like the people who are really serious about winning and doing well tend to end up in this playlist, and it is quite fun. So I like that. Anyways, that'll be it. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye.